right. Good morning, everybody. So we're sore today, a little bit. Yeah, and tired, a little bit. I'm feeling the same way. So just know that I am right there with you. Today we are going to be focusing on a little bit of shoulders. So we have the bands here today. We are going to be using those. We're going to get good shoulder stretches going. And then, typical things for our hips so that from all the stuff we've done this week, we get kind of full body. And this series today is for recovery for the hero workout, Jason. And Jason's got air squats and ring muscle ups, which is a really cool, interesting combination, but one where your upper body just gets so sore in all the ways, and really tight in things like forearms and front of the shoulders and chest and lats. So we're going to make sure we touch on all of that today. And as always, we just want to breathe and make sure that as we're going through a stretch, if we're able to breathe and relax the body, it will help you deepen the stretch. So as we go through today, just, focus on that breathing and just love the stretch. So we're going to start in a comfortable seat. So whatever that means for you, maybe that's seated on the sit bones here. Maybe that's on the shins. Maybe that's legs out in a straddle so that you can keep that torso up. Okay. So wherever we are, hands gently placed somewhere comfortable. We sit up tall, close the eyes. And as you're here, just take a moment to kind of scan the body and noticing what's going on. We're just kind of taking an inventory of both like what the body feels like and kind of how we feel like energetically and just what this moment feels like for you. And keeping the eyes closed, we're going to gently close the mouth and begin to breathe through the nose. Now we want to try to breathe through the nose as much as we can today, with the inhale being kind of the preparation to get into a position and the exhale being the place where we help soften. And so we'll try that here. We're going to inhale together all the way to the top to where you can't inhale anymore. And then through the nose, go ahead and exhale. Again, let's feel that inhale come from the pit of the belly and go all the way to the top of the head. And then exhaling through the nose from the top of the head all the way down. A couple more rounds like this on your own, just to kind of elongate the breath. Bring your attention to the breathing. Work through any places that might feel a little stuck. So open those ribs wide to create more space for your breath. And so as we move through some of these positions, just focus on that smooth breath and letting the inhale be the place to step into the position and the exhale be the place to relax into it. And so continuing to breathe through the nose, but let's gently open the eyes. And we're going to go into seated cat-cow. So this seated cat-cow is going to be coming mostly from the torso here and feeling kind of the round and the open through the chest. So hands can go anywhere that kind of help you anchor yourself. And from here, we're just going to round the back, roll the shoulders forward, draw the chin in. And then here, roll the shoulders back and down, open up the chest. Maybe lift the chin a little bit. And then round, push the shoulder blades apart. And open the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then one more cycle, round. And open the chest. Good. Let's find a neutral position with that spine. Coming into a neck stretch. So you might want to anchor yourself, just to relax. Like my hips are tight, and so I'm having a hard time sitting here like without holding myself up. So I'm going to kind of just anchor myself a little bit. I'm going to take my right hand and put it around my low back. Okay, right hand around the low back. Right shoulder is going to roll down a little bit. Okay, and then from here I'm going to take my left ear and draw it away. So my shoulder is drawing down, and my left ear is going towards my left shoulder. So you might feel a stretch right on this top big meaty muscle on the neck. Okay. You can also begin to take the chin and draw it down towards the chest slowly. You'll feel the stretch travel behind the neck a little. Bring the chin down more, and you'll feel the stretch go towards the shoulder blades. And then let's go and bring that left ear back towards that left shoulder as you lift the chin back to neutral. And then think about lifting the chin up towards the ceiling, still reaching that left ear over to the left. But now we're going to get that stretch to travel to the front of the neck. And then just a breath or two here to find movement that feels good for you. So the chin can go up and down any way that you like. Good. Let's go ahead and gently bring the head to neutral and then release that right arm. Let's go to the other side. So left arm goes around. This left shoulder is going to drop down and anchor itself there. And then you're taking your right ear towards your right shoulder. We're just going to start with this really deep side of the neck stretch. And then you can begin to draw the chin down slowly to let that stretch move around to the back of the neck. Maybe even down in towards that shoulder blade on the inside of the left side. And then slowly, continuing to bring that right ear to the right shoulder, you can begin to lift the chin up. And then for these last few breaths, moving around any way you like. Good. And let's gently reset the head, release that left arm. And then just a couple shoulder rolls just to find some movement back into those shoulders. Okay. Last pose here in this seated cross-legged position, then we'll move on. We're going to go into a side bend. So let's put your right hand onto the floor. Left arm will go up. We're going to lift, and then we're going to lean over towards that right side. As we lean over to the right side, we're anchoring that left hip down so that we feel traction pulling down towards the hip, and then good reach through the fingertips. Good. Bringing yourself up on your inhale. And then let's reset. Left hand down, right arm up. Get real tall, and then on your exhale, just gently lean over to the left side. As you reach towards those or through those right fingertips, the right hip is pushing down. Good, and gently bringing yourself back up. And you guys just stay there where you are. We're just going to orient a little different. Now let's have everybody take your feet flat onto the floor here. We're going to go through an easy reverse tabletop. So hands are going to go behind you. Okay. So you're going to first straighten the arms and then squeeze the shoulder blades together and kind of puff up your chest. You might feel a stretch here already in the biceps and in the shoulders. Cool, stay. We're going to go into an easier version, so you just let those hips come forward a little bit and see if you can keep the chest open and the elbows straight with the hips forward just a bit. Good, and bring those hips back and release the hands. Give them a little shake. And next up, we've got shin box. So bring your right shin down and your left foot will kind of go behind. Okay. And sometimes we do this in a 90-90 position. I find that this like full 90-90 is really tough to do the shin box. So I'd like to just bring it in just a little bit to tighten that position so that you're able to go through the motion. Here, let's take your left hip and push it down a little bit. So now we're kind of like evening out the hips. All right, on our next inhale, we're gonna lift the chest, and on your exhale, you're gonna fold over that front shin. You're gonna get a stretch here for your hip. Good. Then we're gonna bring the torso up. This got a little bit of movement to it. And then we'll come up onto the shins, this right shin here, and we'll open up the hips and try to push forward a little bit. Okay, and then we sit back down, and then knees come up, and we go over to the other side. Excuse me. Okay, and so let's do the other side. We're gonna bow over that left shin. We're gonna hold here for a couple counts. Then come up onto that left shin as we push the hips forward. Okay. And then we sit back down. You're going to go one more on each side at your own pace. Okay. So you might want to spend a little bit more time in this forward fold position. Stretch out the hips, the glutes. It's definitely hard to do some of these movements when you're so sore it's hard to sit. But, you know, we just have to go through the movements as easy as we can. Good. Nice. Cool. When you're done with two on each side, or like one more on each side, let's come into a hands and knees position. We're going to go through a few actual cat-cow. All right, so hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Shoulder blades down the back. We're going to arch and lift. And then we're going to press through the palms. We're going to round, tuck the chin in. And then switching to that next position, arch the back, lift. And round. Good. Neutral spine. Let's go child's pose. Toes together, knees apart. And we'll just bring that head gently to the floor. Hands are going to go alongside the shins. So they're going to reach behind you. And we're just going to allow your shoulders to drop towards the floor. Try to soften your hips towards your heels. And just a couple breaths through the nose before we continue on. Good. Next, inhale. Bring yourself out of that. And back to the hands and knees. Okay. Okay. Puppy pose. So the idea with puppy is we're going to keep our hips over our knees. And so we're going to start by walking the hands out, but keep those hips stacked so that you can only go as far as the hip position allows. Palms are flat on the floor, and then we arch the back as we draw the chest down. The head can come to the floor. Good. Next inhale, back to the hands and knees. Let's do a little bit of side wiggle with the hips. You can do some body rolls. All right. And then child's pose side stretch. Let's sit back on the heels. Hands will go out in front. Okay. We're going to go to the right side first. So walk the hands over to the right. It's like 10 o'clock or so, or sorry, 2 o'clock or so. So you're over, but you're not super, super far off to the side. We got a little angle here. Reach more with the left palm and then press your left hand down onto the floor. That's your anchor. And then you pull back with the left hip to create more length. And here you can also play around with like rotating the chest up, rolling the chest down, pressing it to the floor, just noticing how movement changes where the stretch is and where you feel it. And sometimes we have to get into a slightly different position to feel a good stretch. So do what you need to do here. All right, on your next inhale, I'm just going to walk the hands over to the other side. And we're going to reach now a little bit more with the right hand, and then we're going to press that right palm down. That's the anchor, and then we reach back with the right hip to create that length through that right side body. And then again, it's playing around with moving the torso to find the stretch that feels the best. All right, next inhale, walk it back to center. And then coming back to the hands and knees. Couple body rolls and hip wiggles. Maybe some shoulder shrugs. Let's get some movement going. Some shoulder circles. All right, next up, thread the needle. So thread the needle is a twist, and you should feel it right in the middle of your back. So we're going to start by reaching the right arm out. We're going to bring that right arm through and drop down to the right shoulder. Okay, from here, your left palm is going to anchor itself into the ground, and then you're going to use that pressure of the left hand against the floor to rotate the torso more towards the ceiling. Keep your hips level by pulling the right hip over the right knee so it doesn't sit off to the side. Good. Next inhale. Let's go ahead and release. And then we'll go the other side. So left arm out, thread it through, drop down to the left shoulder, and then anchoring your right palm we press and rotate. And keeping that left hip swinging over the left knee so that we get more out of the twist. And all right, gently bringing yourself out of that. Okay. And then we're just going to make our way onto our belly. We're going to go through some scorpions. Okay, and the scorpion, we've got a combo thing happening. We have shoulders and back and hips. So we're going to go right arm straight out to the side. You're going to take your left toes and roll up and over to reach your left toes towards your right hand. You can take your left knee and reach it towards the ceiling to open up the hips more. And then bringing yourself to the belly, we go to the other side. So we're going to go back and forth a couple times. Okay. So now left arm out, bringing the right foot up and over as far as you can, lifting that right knee up towards the ceiling. Good, back to the belly. And one more each side. So reaching that right arm out, left leg up and over. And back to the belly. And then last side. Left arm out, right foot up and back. Right, inhale, rolling back to the belly. And then placing the palms flat on the floor, you're just going to sit back onto the shins. All right. So maybe this is enough. So maybe you feel like sitting here, you're getting a big stretch through the feet on each side, like tops of the feet. You got the shins. Maybe you're getting quads. Maybe you're not getting anything yet. And so if you're not, we can reach back. So like right now, my right quad's tighter, so I actually can feel that in this position. So I'm just going to keep this height. If you can go farther, or if you want a little bit more stretch for your feet and shins, we can lift those knees up a little bit, okay? But maybe we just stay here and breathe. Breathe. Good. All right, from wherever you are, let's just gently and slowly sit out of that and up. Good. Okay, next, wrists, wrist and forearms. Okay, so we're going to stretch tops of the forearms first. So you can come up onto the knees a little bit. Palm flat on the floor, fingers facing the knees. Okay. So first thing I want you to do is straighten your elbows. If this is tough to straighten your elbows, you just kind of stay here. Some of us might need to bring the shoulders forward a little bit to be able to straighten the elbows. If you have that elbow position and it feels not too intense, we can then bring the shoulders back behind us. Still keeping the heel of the palm flat on the floor, but allowing the shoulders to pull back behind the fingertips a little more. Get that big stretch in the front of the forearm. All right, shifting the shoulders forward. We're going to gently release and just kind of shake it out a little bit. Just let that blood flow get back in there. Okay. And then the second one we're going to do is going to be more for the top of the forearm here, where we're going to place the back of the palm on the floor, but fingers are going to face each other now. We're going to straighten the elbows. Okay. So maybe this is it. Maybe this is all we've got. Okay. If you need a little bit more, we can slide those hands out a little wider. That might help. The other thing we can try is curling the fingers. Thinking about false grip a little bit here, right? So get that big stretch going. Good. Gently release. Shake that out. Okay. And then let's get our band. Okay. So I'm going to turn around just so you can see what's happening with the shoulders. Okay. We can sit, we can go like this, we can sit here, we can go cross-legged, anything that feels comfortable. Grab the band with a little bit, with more slack at the bottom with the right hand. Okay. Then we're going to bring that right hand behind us. I'm going to take my left hand and just bring that right elbow in so that it's kind of behind my head. I'm going to then keep my right arm where it is. I'm going to reach my left arm back out. I'm going to take my left thumb and rotate it down so that my whole shoulder internally rotates. Then I reach back for the band. Maybe then I can start walking my fingertips up. Maybe we need the band, maybe we don't. We're just going to find this big stretch here and try as best you can to breathe through the nose. There's probably a lot of tension in that left shoulder. Maybe there's some tension in the triceps on that right side, but usually the internal rotation side gets most of it. And just kind of breathe. Okay. You're going to gently release the hands, very slowly. Very slowly then let that left shoulder release, and then the right. Just give it a moment to like reset, get blood flow back in there. And then we'll do the second side. So left hand with slack in the band. We're going to go behind the head. Right hand is going to grab the elbow to pull it in towards the center. And you're going to anchor that left elbow there, right arm out. The whole arm and shoulder rotates forward. You'll reach around and grab for the band, and then walk your hands up the band, either until you get stuck or until you can grab your fingertips. One side might be different than the other, and that's okay. We're just going to breathe here and soften where we can. All right, slowly begin to loosen your grip so that you can unwind out of this very gently. Let the blood flow come back into the arms. The band can go off to the side. Okay. Shoulders. Whew, we did a lot of shoulders. So now we're going to take care of the lower body a little bit. Let's get into downward facing dog, just as our preparation position. So Place those palms flat on the floor. Let's get into that down dog. Hips go high. We're kind of pedaling out those feet to start just to get a little bit of calf stretch. Opening up the hamstrings as you take your tailbone and reach it up towards the ceiling. Cool. Let's step that right foot to the outside of the right hand and bring the back knee down. I'm going to come into our Spiderman position here. So what we can do for today is allow this right knee to just open up to the side, coming onto the outer edge of your right foot. That stretch is going to travel really deep into the hip there. You can stay on the hands, or maybe, oh, I don't got the space today, you can go into the forearms. All right, gently coming onto the hands if you're not there already. And then we're just going to go back to an easy down dog. Get there any way you want. Just as a little reset before we go to the other side. And then let's go left foot to the outside of the left hand, and then back knee down. Let's let this left knee fall over to the side, come onto the outer edge of your left foot. And then again, if you have the space, that inside elbow can start to reach down first. And maybe we don't have the space, and that's okay. We just do what we can here and feel the stretch that we feel. All right, coming on to the hands. Gently back to down dog in your own way. Cool. All right, next up, pigeon. Let's take your right knee and bring it towards your right wrist. Bring the right shin down towards the ground. From here, we'll scoot the left leg back. And if you are like me today with a lot of space between the floor and the hip, you can always roll to the outer hip a little bit more to make it a little bit more relaxed. Depends on how tight you are today. And then bowing over the shin. Try to soften the shoulders, relax the jaw. Exhaling to relax. Inhale, coming onto the hands. And then we're just going to slowly bring yourself out of that, back to down dog for a little reset. And once you get to down dog, if you'd like, you can reach your right leg up, bend the knee, open the hip, just create a little more movement on that side after that big stretch. Good. Bringing that foot down. Let's go to the other side. Left knee towards the left wrist. Bring the shin down. Scoot the leg, that right leg back. And then decide if you're staying like this or if you're rolling towards that outer hip for a little bit less intensity. All right, slowly coming onto the hands. We'll go back to down dog in your own way for that reset. And then again, if it felt good on the first side, let's do it the second side. Left leg up, and the knee, open the hips. Find a little more movement in that joint. Good. All right, left leg down. Let's just drop the knees to the floor, and then we're going to swing the feet around and come to a seat with the legs out in front. Okay. And then from here, just however you want to get down to the floor, onto your back. Let's bring the knees into the chest when you get there. And you just wrap your forearms around the shins, pull the knees into your chest, and then a little sway side to side to massage out the lower back. Good. Now keeping your right knee into your chest, left leg will extend onto the mat. We're going to come into a twist. So take your hips over to the right just a little bit so that as you let your right knee fall to the left, you feel as though you're more on the outer edge of the left hip. Extend your right arm out to the side, and then gravity will do the work here. So just get heavy in the position. Don't push or force. Just allow your exhale and the release in that exhale to help you sink more into the position. And gently bringing your right knee in. And then resetting the hips, both knees into your chest for a squeeze. And then we switch sides. Right leg will extend onto the mat. The left knee will stay into the chest, and you scoot your hips to the left. As you begin to go for the twist, roll onto the outer right hip. Then that left arm reaches out, and you're just settling into this position. Let the exhale help release where it feels tight. Good. Inhale, brings the knee back in. And then both knees back to the chest for a final squeeze. And then take a big inhale through the nose. Open the mouth side out. Legs will extend onto the mat. Final rest position here. Get comfortable. So arms go alongside the waist or hands can go on the belly, wherever is comfortable. Close the eyes. You're still breathing through the nose, but it's just soft and whatever it needs to be. There's no force, there's no count. It's just breathing as it feels good right now. Slowly start to wiggle the fingers and toes. Reach the arms overhead, full body stretch like you wake up in the morning. Toes and fingertips reach away from each other. And then rolling to the right side. Eventually we'll make our way to a comfortable seat, but you can hang out on the first right side roll first and then to the seat whenever feels good. Just sitting tall, keeping the eyes closed. Last few moments here. And then just take a moment to like get an inventory of how you feel now. Notice what's changed. Notice what's the same. And then gently opening the eyes. As always, thank you so much for joining for yoga. Taking care of your bodies in a different way so that you can go off and do all of the training that you guys like doing. And yeah, hopefully you can come back to this practice, especially when your shoulders are feeling tight. We did a lot of shoulder work today. Got some hip stuff in there, but definitely got into the shoulders. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.